Hello, I'm Scott Halford, President of Complete Intelligence. We have co-founder of Complete Intelligence, Marty Lassen, along with me. We're going to demonstrate to you a technique called active constructive communication. And active constructive communication is one of those things that actually allows relationships, whether they're business or personal, to kind of get off on a good note, and it allows people to communicate well and deepen the relationship in a way that oftentimes we don't do because we get too busy. And so what we're going to do is we're going to show you what it looks like. We're going to practice it, and Marty's going to be my wife and come home with a good piece of news like we oftentimes have in relationships, and I'm going to react to it in a variety of different ways to show you kind of how we oftentimes react in relationships, and there's only one good one. So let's kind of play at this and go for it. So Marty, you're going to come home with a good piece of news that is something that I'm going to react to. Go ahead.
Honey, I got a raise today at work.
Are you kidding? When did you find out?
Just in the middle of the afternoon, my boss came in, gave me the news.
That is so awesome. So what did they tell you? Why? I mean, did they have like a specific reason? I know they're not giving a lot of raises away.
Well, happy with all the big projects that I've been managing, and just said it was something that they felt I deserved. Really exciting.
That is so cool. So did you guys go out and celebrate? What have you done?
Tomorrow we're going to have a lunch with the whole team.
That's all. You want to go celebrate now?
I would love to go celebrate.
Okay. So what we just did was it looks pretty simple. It's active constructive. For some of you, it might just feel like, wow, they looked engaged, and I think that's oftentimes what people will give us feedback about, is that it looks engaged, because Marty comes in with a piece of news. It's positive and it could be negative, but what I did was something that's very simple. It's the main principle of active constructive, and that is to ask questions. And oftentimes people want to know how many questions, and I say at least 3, and that shows that we're really engaged with that person. The questions need to be about her, and they should actually accentuate the emotion she's feeling. So if she comes home and she's sad, we found out that we might be getting some layoffs. Oh geez, what's going on? You want her to work out the emotions. You want her to kind of be able to speak about them and let it come out. When she comes with good information, good news, you want her to celebrate a little bit more. So that's what we did, didn't we?
We did.
Yep, celebrated a little bit. So active constructive is kind of doing a little bit of emotional matching as well as asking 3 questions. And we can all do that, but you would be surprised at how many people in workshops actually have difficulty with it because they don't do it. They don't practice being engaged. So it's all it takes is just a little bit of that. It will switch the way that you interact with people. So we're going to do it again, same scenario, but this time I'm going to react differently. So the first one was what we call active constructive. All right, let's do the second one.
Hey, guess what? I got a raise today at work.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, it was really good.
Okay, so that's called passive constructive. I kind of give a positive, kind of passive grunt. I don't ask any questions. So you can see what questions do. They keep it going. So if you don't ask questions, if all you're doing is saying, good for you, or how nice, you're kind of ending the conversation. But when you ask questions about the actual scenario, it keeps it going. And that's the whole goal with this, is to communicate. It's a good interpersonal relationship kind of technique. The other thing that didn't happen is I didn't really emotionally match her. I was like, she's like, oh gosh, I have good news, and I'm like, oh good. So I was so far apart. And doesn't it feel weird when we come home with good news for the person that we want to tell, and by the time we get home, our excitement goes down and down and down because we know that we're not going to get that emotional matching, and it feels too strange for us to be wah, and they're so much smaller. So passive constructive, it's okay. It's not great. It's not the best. Active constructive, ask questions, emotionally match. So we're going to do it again and take it down another path. Here we go.
Hey, guess what? I got a raise today at work.
Oh, is it the same kind of good old cost of living raise that you always get?
No, I got a raise today.
I know, but you know how what is it?
It's a good thing. It's a raise.
I understand it's a raise, but the cost of living adjustments that they give over there. First off, I hope that they don't.
Okay.
Well, but I hope that they don't think that this is good enough for the last 2 years that they haven't given you a raise. I mean, how much is it?
Never mind.
No, I'm just.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm just trying to say that I think it's cool that you got a raise, but the deal is that they.
Yeah, I get it.
So that's how it oftentimes goes, is that we take good news and we throw water on it. And watch yourself. You'll see how easy it is to do. You'll give people advice. They'll give you a good piece of news or come with a bad piece of news, and you'll instantly give them a piece of advice. It's what we call active-destructive. We actually rip the good news apart. So I took Marty's good news and have you you know, is it the cost of living adjustment that you typically get? That's no good. That's just never going to bode well in a communication. And the same thing with bad news. If somebody comes with bad news and you just start ripping apart, I told you, and that kind of repertoire, it doesn't bode well for communication at all. So active destructive actually dispenses advice. It rips apart. There's no emotional matching, and if there are any questions, it's a question to test them about, okay, so how much is the raise? And you can see that it's a very, very destructive path to go. So again, we want to go active constructive. Ask at least 3 questions about them, help continue the emotion by emotionally matching. So let's go to the 4th stage here.
Hey, guess what? I got a raise today at work.
Oh man, you know what? I have had the worst day. So that's what we call active or passive destructive. So there's active destructive where I rip it apart, and passive destructive where I make it about me. And we see that a lot in relationships where we just ignore the person and what it is that they have to bring because we're busy. And we don't oftentimes know that we're doing that, but we do get kind of caught up. I like to think about it as if my kid walks in and I've got the newspaper and they come with a good piece of news, and I'm like, hey, would you do Dad a favor and go grab some orange juice from the refrigerator? It completely disacknowledges them, if you will. So that's what passive destructive does. It makes it about them, says I'm not listening to you, I'm just in my own universe. So the active constructive technique, it's relatively simple, but you'll see that a lot of people don't do it. And when you try it, it's something that will actually change the way that you interact. Good luck in your active constructive communication. Thanks, Marty.
Thanks, Scott.